Welcome to Interesting Chinese Culture. In each episode, we explore one question about Chinese culture and discuss it from historical and cultural perspectives in an engaging way. Today's topic is the Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival. The Spring Festival, a time ritual that has lasted for 4,000 years. If you ask a Chinese person, what is the most important festival of the year? Most people will answer without hesitation, the Spring Festival. For Chinese people, the Spring Festival has never been just a holiday. It is more like a time ritual that has lasted for thousands of years, a collective dialogue between humans and nature, between family and society. The date of the Spring Festival changes every year, which often confuses foreign friends. This is not because the date is chosen at random, but because the festival is based on the traditional Chinese lunar calendar. Ancient China used a calendar that combined the movements of the moon and the sun. Months were calculated according to the phases of the moon, while the year had to stay aligned with the seasonal cycle of the sun. Since a lunar year is about 11 days shorter than a solar year, ancient astronomers created the system of leap months to correct the difference. Within this precise astronomical framework, the Spring Festival was fixed as the second new moon after the winter solstice, which is the first day of the lunar year. As a result, on the Gregorian calendar, the Spring Festival usually falls between late January and mid-February. Although it appears to shift from year to year, it actually follows a consistent natural order. In Chinese culture, time is not simply a number, it is a cycle. The Spring Festival marks the true end of winter and the beginning of spring, when life starts to grow again and everything re-enters a phase of renewal. For an ancient agricultural society, this meant new planting, future harvests, and fresh hope. From the very beginning, the Spring Festival was not an entertainment event. It was a starting point, closely tied to survival itself. The origins of the Spring Festival can be traced back more than 3,000 years to the Shang and Zhou periods. At that time, year was not a joyful concept but a fearful threshold. According to legend, there was a monster called Nian that appeared at the end of winter and the beginning of spring to harm people. People discovered that it was afraid of the color red, fire, and loud noises. As a result, customs such as hanging red decorations, lighting fires, and burning bamboo were created. The cracking sound of burning bamboo later became the prototype of firecrackers. In this early stage, the Spring Festival was more like a collective survival ritual, filled with elements of primitive belief. Over time, Neon transformed from a monster into a unit of time. While the rituals meant to drive away fear were preserved and passed down. Red no longer symbolized defense, but joy. Firecrackers were no longer warnings, but blessings. By the Han Dynasty, the Spring Festival gradually lost its sense of fear and evolved into a festival centered on family reunion. In records of the Grand Historian, Sima Qian recorded the official decision by Emperor Wu of Han to designate the first lunar month as the beginning of the year. From then on, the first day of the lunar calendar became firmly established as New Year's Day. The custom of staying up late on New Year's Eve also took shape during this period. Families remained awake together, waiting for the moment when the old year gave way to the new, expressing both respect for the passage of time and hope for renewal. During the Temps and Song dynasties, Spring Festival celebrations reached an unprecedented level of prosperity. The Tang poet Wang Anqi described the lively atmosphere in his poem New Year's Day, writing of firecrackers marking the passing year and warm spring winds carrying the scent of spiced wine. By the Song dynasty, the Spring Festival already looked quite similar to what we see today. Markets sold New Year prints and spring couplets. Children received lucky money tied with red strings, and cities hosted large temple fairs. Most notably, the use of gunpowder allowed real firecrackers to replace burning bamboo, making the sounds of the new year louder and more enduring. In the Ming and Qing dynasties, Spring Festival customs became even more standardized. The founding emperor of the Ming dynasty, Zhu Yuanzhang, once ordered every household to post Spring Festival couplets, a practice that soon spread throughout society. In the Qing dynasty, New Year ceremonies in the imperial court were especially grand. Paintings such as the Qianlong Emperor's New Year celebration preserved in the Forbidden City record, in detail how the emperor performed rituals to honor heaven and ancestors and received formal greetings from officials. Among the common people, local traditions flourished in diverse forms. From dumplings in the north to rice cakes in the south, from temple fairs in Beijing to flower markets in Guangzhou, a rich and colorful picture of the Spring Festival gradually unfolded. What are the traditional customs of the Chinese New Year? In the days leading up to the Spring Festival, almost every Chinese household carries out a thorough cleaning. On the surface, this is about tidiness, but on a cultural level, it symbolizes sweeping away the bad luck and exhaustion of the past year and making space for the new one. Chinese culture believes that the state of one's living space and the state of one's life influence each other. After that, people begin to put up Spring Festival couplets and the character Fu, meaning good fortune. The couplets are written on red paper and usually express blessings and hopes. In ancient times, people believed that written words carried power, and that wishes written down would be remembered by heaven and earth. The character Fu is often pasted upside down, not as a decoration, but because the word for upside down and the word for arrival sound the same in Chinese. This symbolizes that good fortune has arrived. The New Year's Eve family dinner is one of the most important moments of the Spring Festival. No matter where they are, many Chinese people try their best to return home. The meaning of this meal is not really about the dishes themselves, but about sitting together at the same table. It confirms that a person still belongs to this family and to a chain made of blood ties and shared memories. In Chinese culture, reunion is not only an emotional need, but also a form of identity confirmation. After the New Year's Eve dinner, people stay up late to welcome the new year. This custom is not about excitement, but about accompanying time as it passes through the final moment of the old year. In the past, it was a way for children to bless their parents with companionship and a quiet expression of respect for the continuation of life. When midnight arrives, firecrackers and fireworks explode. They are not just for entertainment, but ritual actions that cut a boundary in time, announcing the end of the old year and the beginning of the new one. During the Spring Festival, people visit each other to exchange New Year greetings and say a series of auspicious phrases. Red envelopes were originally called lucky money and were meant to protect children from evil influences. Over time, red envelopes became symbolic containers of blessings. The festival is also accompanied by visiting relatives and friends, honoring ancestors, watching dragon and lion dances, and attending temple fairs. These activities allow the festival to exist not only within families, but also throughout society. Dragon and lion dances symbolize driving away evil and welcoming good fortune, while temple fairs combine belief, entertainment, and collective memory, making them an important part of Spring Festival culture. Of course, customs during the Spring Festival differ between northern and southern China. Preparations for the new year often begin as early as the 12th lunar month. On the 8th day of the 12th lunar month comes the Laba festival. In the south, people drink laba porridge, made from 8 kinds of grains and beans. It symbolizes a good harvest and comes from Buddhist traditions, becoming a folk custom from the Song dynasty onward. In the north, people make laba garlic by soaking garlic cloves in vinegar until they turn green and eat them with dumplings on New Year's Eve. Older generations also worship the kitchen god on the 23rd or 24th day of the 12th lunar month. The kitchen god, often called the stove god, reflects the ancient belief that moral order is watched by unseen forces. His role as an observer of a household's behavior symbolized moral self-discipline. Texts from the Qing dynasty describe him as receiving a family's offerings, protecting their safety, observing their good and bad deeds, and reporting them to heaven. This allowed ethical supervision to blend into daily life around the stove. The saying "food is the foundation of the people" reflects this idea. Worshipping the kitchen god is also an expression of gratitude for basic survival. After this ritual, families officially enter the busy period of preparing for the new year. Once the Spring Festival begins, beyond the New Year's Eve dinner, red envelopes, ancestral rituals, and fireworks, the following days each have their own activities and taboos. The first day of the Lunar New Year is for paying New Year visits. People put on new clothes, first greet the elders at home, then visit relatives and friends to exchange good wishes. This day is usually spent with close family members, such as grandparents. Taboos include not sweeping the floor or taking out trash, to avoid letting wealth flow away, and not breaking bowls or plates. If something does break by accident, people say a phrase meaning peace, year after year, turning bad luck into a blessing. The second day is traditionally for returning to the wife's parents' home. In the past, married women spent New Year's Eve with their husband's family, so the second day was for visiting their own parents with gifts. Today, couples often discuss where to spend New Year's Eve, but many still follow the idea that if one side is visited on New Year's Eve, the other side is visited the next day. The fifth day is the day to welcome the god of wealth. If you ask which deity is most popular among Chinese people today, it is likely the god of wealth. You can think of him as similar to Santa Claus, except instead of toys, he brings money, business opportunities, and career success. On this day, many shop owners set off firecrackers in front of their stores to worship the god of wealth, Xiao Gongming, and pray for prosperous business. In China, the Spring Festival usually lasts from New Year's Eve to the 7th day of the Lunar New Year. After that, another important festival arrives, the Lantern Festival, on the 15th day of the first lunar month. People believe this is the day when the moon is the fullest, symbolizing family reunion. You can think of it as a Chinese version of Thanksgiving. On this day, people eat glutinous rice balls called tangyan or yuangs. They are soft, sweet dumplings served in hot soup, often enjoyed during family gatherings. Northern and southern China even differ in how these are made. In the south, tangyan are wrapped like dumplings, while in the north, yuangso are formed by rolling fillings in dry rice flour. Common fillings include black sesame, peanuts, and red bean paste, while some regions also enjoy savory meat fillings or small plain rice balls cooked with sweet osmanthus or fermented rice. Speaking of food, what dishes must appear during the Chinese New Year? Dumplings are the most widely known, but another essential dish on the New Year's Eve table is fish. Like turkey at Thanksgiving, fish is a must for the Spring Festival. The word for fish in Chinese sounds the same as surplus, so having fish symbolizes abundance year after year. In ancient agricultural society, having surplus meant security and hope. Fish also symbolize fertility and prosperity, and because fish live in water, which is associated with wealth, serving fish on New Year's Eve carries the meaning of inviting wealth into the home. Every year, around the Spring Festival, the largest annual human migration on Earth unfolds across China. This phenomenon is known as Chenyun, the Spring Festival travel rush. Train stations overflow with people. Highways are packed with endless streams of cars. Flights are fully booked. Why are Chinese people so determined to go home for the Spring Festival? Behind this determination lies a deep cultural code. From a biological perspective, returning to family during winter aligns with instinctive behavior seen in many animals. For humans, long winter nights can as early trigger loneliness and depression, while family reunions help increase serotonin levels and counter seasonal emotional disorders. From a sociological point of view, going home for the Spring Festival is a modern continuation of the agricultural civilization belief in staying rooted to one's land. Traditional Chinese society was organized around families and clans. The end of the year was a time for settling accounts and renewing social bonds, so those who left naturally returned home. Today, although social structures have changed dramatically, going home for the Spring Festival has become a kind of cultural instinct. It is deeply embedded in the collective subconscious and has become an important marker of Chinese identity. The scale of Chenyun is staggering. During the 2019 Spring Festival travel season, total passenger trips reached 2.98 billion, equivalent to 40% of the world's population moving once. On peak days, railways transported over 10 million passengers in a single day. This migration is not only about family ties, it also generates enormous economic impact, with retail and dining consumption during the Spring Festival exceeding 1 trillion yuan. But more touching than the numbers are the stories. Migrant workers ride motorcycles for thousands of kilometers to get home. Overseas Chinese travel through multiple countries just to return. Newly married couples have sweet arguments over whose family to visit for the new year. Every person on the journey home is a living carrier of cultural tradition. As Chinese communities spread across the world, the Spring Festival has begun its global journey as well. Today, from New York to London, from Sydney to Johannesburg, Spring Festival celebrations can be seen everywhere. In 2003, London held its first official Spring Festival celebration at Trafalgar Square, attended by the mayor himself. In Singapore, the tradition of Lo Hei is especially unique, as people lift raw fish and vegetables high with chopsticks while shouting phrases that symbolize rising fortune and success. Since 2010, the United Nations has issued lunar zodiac stamps. Disney has released Spring Festival-themed films and decorated its parks for the holiday. Political leaders around the world send Spring Festival greetings through social media. These signs show that the Spring Festival is moving beyond Chinese communities and becoming part of global multicultural life. Interestingly, celebrations in different countries blend with local characteristics. Spring Festival parades in San Francisco feature American high school marching bands. In Malaysia, Spring Festival customs incorporate elements from Muslim festivals. In Japan, Chinese communities tend to preserve more traditional ancestral rituals. On the surface, the Spring Festival looks like a series of lively traditions, red decorations, fireworks, lavish meals, family gatherings. But if you step back and look from a greater distance, you will realize that what the Spring Festival truly celebrates is not excitement, but a gentle way humans face time. Through the Spring Festival, Chinese people tell themselves that no matter what happened in the past year, whether success or failure, it can be set down at this moment, and life can begin again. The festival turns time from mere numbers into something that can be felt, bid farewell to, and welcomed anew. For many Chinese people, the Spring Festival is also a confirmation of home. In modern life, people are scattered across cities and countries, busy with their own lives. The Spring Festival pulls them back to the same dining table. At that moment, status does not matter. Achievements do not matter. What matters is that you still belong here and that you are still remembered. This reaffirmation of belonging is the deepest and most gentle power of the Spring Festival. If you come from a different cultural background, you may not fully understand every custom, but you can still feel the same emotions. People hope to be blessed. They hope to be forgiven. They hope to be accepted again. They also hope to give themselves a chance to start over. The Spring Festival wraps these shared human emotions into a unique and enduring cultural ritual. So when you see Chinese people pasting red paper, eating dumplings, giving red envelopes, staying up late, and exchanging New Year greetings, you are not just watching people follow old traditions. You are witnessing an entire civilization, year after year, expressing its hopes for the future and its longing for a better new year. If one day you have the chance to visit China, you should experience the Spring Festival at least once. It will be a memory you never forget. Because the Spring Festival is not just a holiday, it represents a nation's historical inheritance, the heartfelt wishes passed down through generations, and the warmth and inclusiveness of a people. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. If there's anything you'd like to learn more about when it comes to Chinese culture, history, or mythology, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this show, please consider following the podcast and leaving a 5-star review. Your support truly means a lot to me, and it's the biggest motivation for me to keep creating new episodes. You're also very welcome to visit my blog, where I share Chinese culture-related content and images from time to time. Just search for Bonnie's Podcast Handbook.blogspot.com. Again, that's Bonnie's Podcast Handbook.blogspot.com. You're welcome to leave comments there as well. Thank you so much for listening today. I'll see you in the next episode.